Hello everyone, welcome to F1 2021, the official video game. I'm going to be playing it on the PS4 and I'm going to be making my way through the career mode, trying to basically go from no one to the greatest F1 driver ever. Probably won't get there, but we're going to see how far we can push through the career mode and what we can achieve. So we're going to be going through the My Team part of the career mode, where we get to run our own team and do all the R&D and stuff, really take control of everything. We're going to be doing a full season, and we're going to be using custom settings, not the recommended default settings. So we go to the assists, full traction control, just because we're not very good, and the automatic gearbox as well. Full practice format, one shot qualifying, so one lap for everyone, not the whole Q1, Q2, Q3. And medium session length, we're going to do 25% race length and just see how we go throughout the season on that. Keeping the forecast accuracy perfect, so we know exactly what we're getting into. In terms of career settings, resources, I've reduced all the player resources and increased all the AI resources, just so that we sort of make it as challenging as possible. We don't want to get sort of too overpowered. Department vent frequency as well, I've increased that. We want to be dealing with a lot of department stuff and really making it challenging. And fault types, high, fault frequency standard, so we get all sorts of technical and mechanical faults as well, just so we have a lot to deal with and it's not all smooth sailing. In terms of the rules, everything's just staying standard. Corner cutting stringency, I've kept it on regular because I did have it on strict when I was playing through some of the races when I tried to do a season before. I ran half the season and I was just getting penalised left, right and centre. AI difficulty, keeping it at 60, just in hard. I'm not too familiar with Formula 1 games. I haven't played one probably since the PS2 days. So just keep it at that for now. Car damage and car damage rate standard. I tried it on simulation and I just kept on destroying the car, so we're not going to be doing that. And no recovery mode though, no recovery whatsoever. If we mess up, we have to live with it. So we head through. We're not going to be enabling team icons because I don't have any, so we're going to skip that, and those are the settings we'll be using for this career mode. And this is the guy that's going to be leading the team, hopefully to victory. Richard Cross, number 13. We've given him the name the Captain to go with our gamer tag, Captain RC1. This is the guy that's going to be leading the team and also driving the car. Hopefully get some Constructors Championships and maybe even get himself some Drivers Championships in the process. We'll just have to see how we go. This is the team, Cross GT Racing. We've picked our sponsor, not the biggest signing bonus, but it is going to give us the most money per week, and it's also the easiest goal for us to attain, so we're going to focus on that. We're using the Renault engine because it's the cheapest one, which gives us a lot of money to spend on Guan Yu Zhou, who is going to be our second driver on the team, who was the best driver we could have got, highest rating. His stats are all really good, I'm really happy with him, and it also means we have some extra money left over, as resources and cash are going to be pretty hard to come by for us in the beginning stages of this career mode. So this is Cross GT Racing. This is how the team looks. These are our drivers. That is the car. We'll get a better look at that in the car reveal once we start the career mode. So here we go. We're going to look at the facility. So we've got aerodynamics as our golden department, and we also, when I did the interview with Will Buxton at the start, I also just answered all the questions for powertrain. So we've got heaps of powertrain stuff all ready to go, because power is going to be severely lacking at the start, and we also want to focus on aerodynamics because that seems to help quite a lot as well. So in terms of vehicle performance comparison, we're sort of at the top of the back markers there, and we're going to spend some of our resource points now. We're going to focus on aerodynamics. I'm pretty sure we go for looking at drag reduction now. I'm pretty sure I went for rear downforce. I felt like it was going to be better for us, and yep, we've picked rear downforce, and that will be ready, all going well, by the Bahrain Grand Prix. And we're going to jump into the activities timeline. We picked pre-season merchandise sale just to get some cash, easy way to get cash right at the start. We really want to make sure we get as much money as possible so we can upgrade our facilities. Now we're going to start advancing time. Personnel department wants us to resolve an issue.
Has asked us to deal with this. We have a couple of options here. Take your time. What you decide to do will have consequences.
Cool. So looks like they are talking about what we want Joe to do. Do we want to focus on pace or awareness? I feel like he should be. His awareness stat's pretty good. So we're going to focus on pace.
Thanks.
I'm pretty sure.
I know these kinds of decisions can be challenging, but I think you made the right call.
Cheers, mate. So we focused on pace. He's already well enough aware, so we really just want him to be fast heading into the first race. Heading into the Bahrain Grand Prix as we continue advancing forward to the car reveal. And that is the car. That's the one that we're going to be taking all the way to the top, or at least for this season. As we go back to the activity timeline, now we've got 8 days before the Bahrain Grand Prix. So we've only got enough time for one of these. So I'm pretty sure we go with driver training camp for our second driver. Yep, we want to just focus on making sure that he is as good as we can get him. Some more resource points, so we're going to focus on the chassis. It's the only part of the car we really can spend on. Weight reduction, always good. That should be ready, all going well, by round 2, which I'm pretty sure is Imola, I think. So we're going to continue advancing time all the way to race weekend. Nope, personnel department also wants us to deal with another issue. So
it looks like our driver has an issue. We need you to step in here.
Okay, Popular Health and Fitness Magazine wants to come on site and check out Joe's daily workout routine. If we accept it, we get tons of driver acclaim. If we don't, he gets extra focus. The driver acclaim is really going to help us, I think, because we really want to boost the team acclaim. So I think we're going to go with that, I do believe. Yes, no?
Thanks for stepping in.
Yes, we do.
Handle that.
No worries. Focusing on the acclaim, we really want to get the team acclaim level up. The higher we get it, the more sponsors we can bring on, the more money we can get. So, as we continue to advance forward.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
Awesome, so that rear downforce upgrade came through perfectly fine, which will really help us heading into race weekend. So we completed practice, we just did practice day 1. Focusing on making sure we get used to the car and the track and trying to get as much as we can out of that one. Practice day 2 and 3, I just went quick practice to try and get the rest of the upgrades. It's probably going to be the way we do things throughout the season. If I feel the need to change that, I probably will, but that works for us at this point, so we're just going to focus on that as we see the acclaim going up and we get ready for qualifying as we head through now to qualifying. So one shot qualifying is we're going to go try and get as high up the standing as possible, up the grid. You can see we're not too bad coming through turn 1. We're taking these corners a bit tighter than Bottas there. We're P20, so the car is not very fast compared to the rest of the grid, but it's also not really all that bad. We've got good acceleration out of the corners there. We do have to brake a little bit early, so we just can't quite get the handling right. We can't get our line right, but it's all part of it. We're all learning. So we go through that slow hairpin there. P14 now. So our ability to accelerate out of the corners is what helps us out there, but this section here is a problem. That there was a problem during practice. Qualifying is also, we've lost 4 places there, but our speed, our acceleration, that's what's helping us. We can accelerate out pretty well and gain some spots. Staying power is not the greatest, but we're up to P11 now. As we brake early, go a little bit wide, but we can accelerate out, and that the gap between us and Bottas over a second, we're not worried about that. We just want to try and qualify as high as possible so that come race day we can try and maintain track position. We're not going for a win, we're just trying to stay at the top of the back markers. P10 coming down, qualifying completed.
We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Awesome, we will. P10. We finished there, 1.5 seconds behind Bottas, I believe, who got pole. Guan Yu Zhou, 17th. So we're the best of the back markers there, Williams and Haas. Kimi Räikkönen and the Alfa Romeo, 2 spots ahead of Guan Yu Zhou, but we got 10th. I'm happy with that. That should really help us out. We're just going to try and maintain track position as we now get ready for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. We go racing today around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice, and they've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Perez, Charles Leclerc and Sainz, Norris, Ricciardo, Gasly and the captain, Fernando Alonso, Vettel, Yuki Tsunoda and Stroll, Raikkonen, Ocon and Guan Yu Zhou and Antonio Giovinazzi, Russell, Mick Schumacher, Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
So there is the starting grid for round 1, the Bahrain Grand Prix. Because we qualified in the top 10, we have to run the first stint on softs. So 6 laps on the softs and then 8 on the mediums. 15 laps worth of fuel. We might drop that down a tiny bit. Yep, we're going to drop that down just a little bit. 15 laps worth of fuel, just that extra lap in case we push the car a little too hard. But that's the strategy. 1 stop, softs then mediums. As we line up on the starting grid, P10. Get ready, we've got 5 red lights, we're just waiting for them to go, and they're gone as we begin the round 1 Grand Prix here in Bahrain of the F1 2021 season. As we go, we're going to go up the inside, we go right up the inside of the Ferraris there, up into P5. It doesn't quite work out, but we have managed to jump. Well, as Sainz brakes right in front of us, we managed to drop, or gain some spaces there. We're up into P7 now. And we have the 2 McLarens coming up. We're now 3 wide through turn 4. We managed to keep Ricciardo out. We lose the space to Norris, but you know, we're competing against the McLarens here. We don't have the pace to be able to keep up with the McLarens, but we're going to try and hold Ricciardo back as much as possible and try and keep the track position for as long as we can, which I can't imagine would be too long based on how quick these McLarens are. And there goes Ricciardo, shove the inside. We give him a little nudge on the back wheel just to let him know that we're still here. Doesn't look like we took any damage there, front wing damage non-existent, but we're still managing to keep pace with them coming through turn 11 there. We accelerate out and he's still there, but yeah, he's just creeping away a little bit. that section right as we go wide there, that section there, turns 11, 12, 13, were pretty strong for us in practice. I feel like that's probably going to be our best spot there. Sector 3 is probably going to be our strongest sector. As we come around turn 15, down the end straight, lap 1 down, P9, we're happy with that. We're just got to try and maintain this as much as possible. Still P9 as we come up to turn 11 here, braking early, taking that out apex, accelerating through, and that is definitely going to be our strongest point as we come around turn 12. We ease off a little bit, brake early heading into turn 13, we come right across that apex, go a little bit wide. We've got a second on Gasly, who really should be catching up to us in that Alpha Tauri. Their car's a lot better than ours, but just driving that little bit better as Max Verstappen, and now Lewis Hamilton just takes the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, lap 2.
DRS
Gasly.
enable this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Thanks for that, Jeff. We're probably not going to be able to use that because we can't keep pace with the McLarens unless Gasly manages to overtake us. He is half a second behind us, and he is gaining on us relatively quickly, but he won't have enough time coming up into turn 4 to be able to catch up and overtake, and we can accelerate out and we can gain that time back on him. So our ability to accelerate out of corners is what's really keeping us ahead of the rest of the pack at the moment as we brake early heading into turn 11 around, and that really is going to be the point where we can make up some ground. We have to ease off heading into through turn 12. We cut the corner a little bit going through turn 13 there. No warning there for that, so that's okay. We just make sure we don't do that too many times. We can't afford any penalties with the car that we've got at the moment. We don't have the ability or the performance in the car really to be able to gain that time back.
Approaching the pit window, you'll be on the mediums.
Thanks for that, Jeff. So we're into lap 4. Another 2 or 3 laps before we have to head into the pits to jump onto the mediums. We're going to try and push these softs as hard as we can, get as much out of them. Gasly has closed that gap, and Gasly's going to overtake us with relative ease. He locks up the wheels heading into turn 4. We come around the inside, but we just don't have the power to be able to keep up and make a move back on him as we go wide. There, we're coming down now, down the straight to turn 11. This is our strongest point. We're going to see how we go against Gasly. We go a little bit wide there. We can still see Gasly, but he is pulling away. We only have to ease up a little bit there through turn 12. Braking too early in turn 13, but we managed to come out relatively well. But Gasly's still half a second in front of us. We've got Vettel a second behind us. I can't imagine he will be too far behind us for that long, being in the Aston Martin. He should be able to catch up to us. Shouldn't be too hard as we get DRS there on the back straight. We are slowly gaining on Gasly with the DRS. So that's interesting. Also, we have to brake hard so we don't catch up, and we lose a lot of time. We lose the back end a little bit there around turn 1, and we've lost a lot of time now to Gasly, who is only just under a second ahead of us. We managed to still get DRS to try and keep up into turn 4. Here into turn 10, this really slow left-hander. Well, we take that reasonably well. Gasly, though, however, is now over a second ahead of us, and Vettel is now just over half a second behind us. The Aston Martin really gaining on us as we cut through turn 11. Coming around turn 12, not as much speed as we would have liked. Turn 13, we go a little bit wide. We go a lot wide. Heading down turn 13. Onto that straight. Gasly, we managed to gain a little bit of time on Gasly, and we gained a lot of time on Vettel. Probably because we slowed him down with our bad line. Frustrating for him, but good for us. We maintain P10. 5 laps down now.
Pit window open. Let's box this lap.
Thanks, Jeff. So we're going to be heading into the pits at the end of this lap to jump onto the mediums. That'll be 6 laps down, 8 to go on mediums. The rest of the pack should also be on mediums as well. So in terms of tyre, we should all be on the same playing field. It'll just be the car performance and the driver performance that really makes a difference as we come down to the tight right hand hairpin there. We come around and we take that reasonably well, a little bit wide, but we're still sort of right behind Gasly there as we brake. Oh, it's a bit messy there. We've lost a lot of time to Gasly now, 1.5 seconds the gap to Gasly. We're probably not going to be able to gain that ground back during the space of the rest of the race. As we go wide through turn 11 there. That was our strongest part. And now it looks like it's starting to unravel on us. Don't come around turn 13. We take turn 13 relatively well. Onto the straight, we're gaining a little bit of ground on Gasly, and now it's all going again because the Alpha Tauri, the performance in that car is well above the performance of the Cross GT racing car. As we come across to the pits, Gasly also heading into the pits now. Following the same strategy, we just managed to slow down in time to not get a speed penalty through the pit lane, as we see Ricciardo there pulling out of the pits. He's not too far ahead of us, but you know, he's in a McLaren, so we are definitely going to be behind. 2.7 pit stop. We had to wait there as Gasly was coming past us, so that has cost us a little bit of time there. But
look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Cool, thanks for that, Jeff. Just saying, we've gone too quick. Out of the pits, wide at turn 1 on the mediums. And that not really gonna be good for Jeff there, who just told us we need to finish the race on these tyres, and we had to lock up those tyres to try and slow down into turn 1 because we just went too fast out of the pits. Don't want to make too many more mistakes like that. It's really not going to help our cause, as we're sort of having to really sort of get used to these mediums now. Spent the whole first part of the race on the softs, the medium compound tyres. Oh, it's messy again through there, and we've spun as we spin it back around. Good save there, but we do lose a space to Russell now with P21. As we take a look at the replay, yep, we just took the corner too tight, accelerated out too quick and spun, and there goes Russell there. We managed to save it. We didn't lose too much time, but that is a costly mistake at this level. As we're now back on board following Russell, we're coming through turn 12. We take that. We didn't even have to ease off there. Coming into turn 13 now.
Is coming in for his stop.
Thanks for that, Jeff. Russell going defensive here. We try to go back to the outside into turn 14. We brake late. He brakes even later. We go wide. He manages to keep P20 as we come down, but we've got the speed on. We've got DRS. We're going to use it. And we overtake Russell there. Not as easy as we would like, but still relatively easy as we brake. We brake late into turn 1. Our teammate just coming out of the pit lane ahead of us. P17 now, as we overtook a couple of drivers in the pit lane there. Coming up into turn 4 now. We come around, we don't accelerate as much, still getting used to these medium compound tyres and how far we can really push them. Quicker first section though, quickest of the race for us so far. So that's good signs there. As we take that tight right hand hairpin there, it's relatively well. Coming down into turns 9 and 10, on and off the brakes. We take that pretty well. We accelerate out. We have gained 1.5 seconds on Russell. P17, we're going to see how far we can push this thing now. Half the race down. Into turn 11, we take it a little bit slower than we normally would. Turn 12, looking good. Coming to turn 12, we had to ease off a little bit there. Braking early, taking it really tight and accelerating out. Turn 13, we gained a lot of time there on our teammate, on Guanyu Zhou. now less than a second ahead of us as we brake late, heading into turn 14. We lose a bit of speed there, but our ability to accelerate out does help us there. We don't lose too much ground.
Come on, we need
We
to
still
get
get the
past.
area. Okay, Jeff. Yep, thanks for that. We as we pass Giovinazzi, who goes into the pits. Either a late pit stop there, or he's had to go in for a second stop. Maybe some damage there. Not too sure. But we are slowly gaining on our teammate now. We are less than half a second behind him. There's no train. We go wide. We brake too late. Lock the wheels up. We've lost that time on our teammate. But our acceleration manages to keep us within that half a second gap. Heading into turn 11, we accelerate hard coming out. We're gaining on him now. Coming through turn 12, we have to brake. He cuts across in front. Turn 13, we brake late. We take the inside. And we get the job done on our teammate P15 through turn 13. Now we're aiming for Ocon here, who is just under a second ahead of us. Accelerating all the way up and braking late, heading into turn 14. We come out. 5 laps of fuel, so we're pretty much bang on in terms of our fuel for the car. We fueled it up pretty well, I do believe. We'll see how we go for the rest of the race as we head through turn 4 following Ocon and Tsunoda. We've got them both in our sights. We've got 5 laps to go. Can we make some moves on these guys? It's going to be tough, but we'll see if we can get the job done. The 2 cars ahead of them, looks like maybe Vettel and I don't know who the other one is. It looks like it's one of the Alpines. Maybe it's an Alpine. Alonso maybe as well up there. Probably not going to get to them, but we'll just see as we come on down through turn 11. We go wide at turn 11. I thought that was going to be a good one there, but it wasn't. We come around through turn 12. We don't have to ease off. We accelerate all the way through turn 13. Accelerate out. A good line there. We've now cut that gap down to Ocon. We're gaining on Ocon. 0.3 seconds behind him now. As we brake, we're right behind him now. We go a bit wide through turn 14. We've lost a bit of ground there. Too busy watching the car and not watching the track. We get DRS on Ocon. And we are gaining. We're sort of just sitting. We're not gaining, but we're not losing either as we have to brake heading into turn 1. Ocon locks up those wheels. That's going to slow him down, but we just can't get the right line to be able to keep up with him. We still have DRS though.
4 laps of fuel remaining.
So we have managed to save some fuel there. Thanks, Jeff. We've managed to save some fuel. It was 5 laps worth of fuel left before we crossed the line after lap 9. 4 laps worth of fuel after as we're heading up to turn 4. So we managed to save a bit of fuel, which is good because at the rate we were going, we may have actually run out of fuel before the end of the race. Ran that tight hairpin. Still less than a second behind Ocon, so we're not doing too bad as we sort of, you can hear those wheels really starting to lock up. We hesitate there through turn 10, and we've lost even more time to Ocon. We still get DRS, but we are now more than a second behind Ocon. So this is it's going to be a big ask for us to keep up, but here's the strongest part of the race for us. Turn 11 goes well, turn 12 we have to ease off just a little bit, but we keep the speed as we brake, head through that apex and accelerate out. Turn 13 we've managed to gain pretty much a whole second on Ocon just through those 3 corners. That is definitely the strongest part of the track for us as we brake early to try and keep that line so we don't lose too much time to Ocon. 0.4 of a second again is the gap. DRS activated. We are slowly gaining on him.
By 2.3 seconds.
So our teammate's still in the position behind us. We go wide into turn 1. Oh, that wasn't a good one. We've lost a lot of ground on Ocon now, but we are gaining it back in the later part of the lap. So as long as we just don't lose too much more ground, we can really push here. We come right up behind Ocon. He's right there. We're really pushing it now. There's a slower first sector for us, but the other cars in front of Ocon are slowing him down, so we're still managing to keep pace with them. As our teammates still now almost 3 seconds behind us, so P15 at this point looks like a pretty good position for us, as we really messed up that corner there. Heavy on the braking, come out very slow. Now we're a second behind Ocon almost, after basically following right behind him that whole way through the first part of the lap. As we come around the strongest part of the lap for us, we ease off a little bit again, but again through those corners we're really pushing it. We're now right behind Ocon. We're right there. We're going to make a move on the inside. We go down the inside. We enable the ERS just to try and get ahead. We do get ahead. We brake late in the turn 14. And we get the job done on Ocon. We pass the Alpine.
Good job. Nice overtake.
Thanks for that, Jeff. That's what I thought too. 12 laps down, 2 to go. Can we make a move on Tsunoda? Tsunoda is just over a half a second in front of us, but he is following... Oh, it's Stroll, not Vettel. I thought it was Vettel. It's Stroll and Alonso in front of him.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
2 laps of fuel, so we've got just enough fuel to get us through the end of the race. The car is as light as we can possibly get it at this point, as we come right behind Tsunoda in turn 4. But we can't accelerate out enough to be able to keep, to be able to really make a move on him. We go wide through these corners here. We're just trying to keep track position. We don't really want to push it too much. P14 is good for us, but we really want P13 as we try to go up the inside of Tsunoda, but we just don't have the acceleration. But we're right there, really making it competitive. Hard on the brakes. We go, we have to brake again during the corner because we just pushed it too hard. We'll get the RS. A second gap between us and Tsunoda, and a second, or half a second, I mean. We brake late heading into turn 11. That's our strongest point, and we've messed that bit up, but we managed to really push it through turn 12. We go wide, braking. We come turn 13. This is where we get this. We got Ocon right up behind Tsunoda, but that Alpha Tauri just really has some power behind it. I think I've been calling Ocon's car the Alpha Tauri this whole time, and I'm pretty sure he races in an Alpine. Oh no, that was the Gasly, never mind. 13 laps down.
Final lap of the race.
Thanks, Jeff. Final lap, half a second behind Tsunoda. Can we make a move this lap? As he locks up the wheel heading into turn 1. And we get a little bit of a slide there coming out of turn 1, so we lose whatever we gained there from Tsunoda locking up those tyres. But it's still half a second gap. At half a second we can make up through turns 11, 12 and 13. So we just have to keep up with Tsunoda. We just have to keep pace and see if we can make a move of the second half of the lap as we take these corners reasonably well, not too wide. We're right behind Tsunoda coming down into turn 8. We take that tight right in the hip, and he loses a little bit by the looks of things there, or a little bit of indecision in the steering, which is only going to help us. As we go wide at turn 10, we go really wide at turn 10. That was not good. That may have just thwarted our plans at getting a position on Tsunoda, but we are still less than half a second behind him. So if we have a good section here, we go tight through turn 11. We're right behind him through turn 12 as Max Verstappen passes the checkered flag. We come up, we go inside of turn 13. A little bit of contact there, I think. But we get the job done as we take a look back at that on the replay. Really pushed for the inside. We locked up the wheels, and there was definitely some contact there with Tsunoda, but we had the line there so we don't get the warning. P13 now. Alonso's right there. Can we make a move on Alonso even as we come down through turn 15, down the checkered flag? We're really pushing it out, ERS enabled, and we just can't quite get it done.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Thanks, Jeff. P13 there for us. That's a good result as we see Lando Norris gets driver of the day, but I'm happy with that. Cross GT Racing, a great performance today at the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Faces on the pit wall after a superb win here at Sakir, and rightly so. What a brilliant effort from the whole team. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track.
I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they secured here.
And there we have it, round 1, Bahrain Grand Prix completed. P13. Great result for us. We started at P10, but P13, we just wanted to try and keep as much track position as we could. We weren't going to be able to move the way up the ladder, but we could have prevented us from going down. And our teammate Guan Yu Zhou actually finished in 16th, so a great outing for Cross GT Racing. Excellent result for us in our first outing as a team. As we take a look at the driver standings, Max Verstappen taking first place, followed by Lewis Hamilton in second and Valtteri Bottas in third. Both the Mercedes there really pushing themselves and effectively taking #1 spot in the Constructors' Championship. That is round 1 completed. Excellent outing for us in our first race. I'm really happy with that. If you enjoyed this, like the video, leave a comment, let me know what you thought down below. If you're new, subscribe, it would really help out the channel. And I'll see you all at Imola for round 2 of the 2021 season of F1. See you guys next time.